Hey guys, Kevin here, and today I have a video to show you, and it is one of the most cringeworthy things I've seen all year. Now, as the left continue to lose on policy, they push back with their three favorite weapons. One is censorship, two is propaganda, and three is lies, right? I mean, they either lie and say somebody's a racist, they try to ban them or shadow ban them like we just saw with Twitter, or they go out and change algorithms on a search so you can't find right-wing stories on a Google search, or they use their favorite old tool, which is to try to push propaganda through entertainment media. And that's what this clip's about. And so I want you guys to see it, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, you have a very nice pussy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Thank you. I picked it out myself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
nice
I had
job.
to put it in 10 years ago where my dick used to be. You're wondering if I'm kidding.
No. I mean, I know you're kidding. I'm not worried about it.
Why would you worry about it?
You mean, what if you're
If I was a woman?
you are a woman.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're not a man.
No, I'm not.
We weren't one before, though, right?
Who cares what I was before? I'm a woman.
Are you fucking with me right now? You're fucking with me. You're fucking around.
What if I'm not? What if I'm not?
You're fucking with me. I know you are. What if you're not? What if
Yeah.
you were? What if you were?
What if I was?
What if you used to be a guy?
What if I am a woman that used to be a guy?
Well,
Let me ask you this.
yeah.
Do you think that a person who transitions from being a man into being a woman is as much a woman as someone who was born a woman?
Well, I mean, yeah, they should be treated that way.
You think they should be treated? Yeah.
If you trans as whatever from one sex to another, then when you get there, you should be able to. You should be allowed to call yourself whatever you think you are. It's up to you.
Whatever you think you are? And so you think trans people are deluded, that they're wrong, but we should just be nice to them and let them believe it.
So does the propaganda get any more blatant and in your face than what we just saw? I mean, any normal man in a real life situation, if they are a straight man, would have that person in a chokehold and make them undress so they could see if they were born a woman or not. They would look for scarring or whatever you have to look for to make sure they didn't have anything removed. Because this is rape. There's nothing funny about it. It is deception at its lowest form to trap somebody like that. And it's disgusting. And when she asked Louie C.K., do you think trans people are deluded? A normal man would say, hell yes. Because it's a mental illness. And I know the left lobbied to change the diagnosis in the DSM manual. But even the most current, politically correct, accepted diagnosis is still a body identity disorder, which means they are deluded, okay? I mean, it's no different than somebody who thinks they're a black man or that guy in Florida who thinks he's a Filipino woman when he's a white male. I mean, if you thought you were a dog, it would be no different, right? If you think you're born a dog, the left says, well, we should just accept people as dogs, right? I mean, that's what they're saying with this trans thing. And so this gets worse. And let's keep going.
I don't think that. That's
Okay,
not.
sorry. So you think that they should be treated like women, even though they're not?
I just think that legally, like the Constitution, I think they should have the same rights. I think they should have the same rights.
And by rights, you mean using a toilet, applying for a job?
Yeah, well, I mean, and, getting married. Gay people can get married. I think it's great that gay people
We're
can
not
get
talking
married.
about gay people.
No, I know.
Look, do you think that a guy who transitions into being a woman should be able to marry a man in a heterosexual marriage?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay. So who's the guy who marries her?
A guy who has that preference, who likes that.
Okay. So you think that a man who has sex with a transgender woman is a sexual preference?
Yes, I do think so.
So guys, when we talk about cultural Marxism and critical theory, this is it. All right, this is critical gender theory to the max. There's no purpose for this to be on television except to push an agenda. It doesn't grow their audience, right? Because it's completely degenerate. It's not helping them grow their audience. It's not funny. I mean, this is situational comedy. There's nothing funny about rape. This is just in this program to push an agenda. So when people talk about cultural Marxism and they talk about the Frankfurt School, this is the kind of crap we're talking about. It is sick. It is in your face. It's blatant propaganda, and you can see right through it. It's transparent, pun intended.
You think so? That's
So a person who is born a woman in a male body, who transitions and becomes a female, is only allowed to have sex with someone who specifically gets off on fucking transgender people. She can't just be herself and just live her life. She can't meet men, date men, fuck men, marry men. She's just like a woman who was born a woman. I mean, she can apply for a job. She can serve her country. She can use a toilet. But she can't do the one thing that makes her a woman. She can't fuck men. Unless they're freaks who dig chicks that used to have dicks.
Guys, I think the thing they're trying to scrub your brain with here, the agenda they're trying to push, is that in their socialist utopia, trans women will be able to have sex with whoever they want and not have to tell them. And if somebody gets upset about it, then they're violating their rights. That's a thing the left do all the time. They say that everything they want is a right, and anybody who's against it is an oppressor, right? So if it's free stuff, if you don't want to work half the year as a slave to fund a corrupt government so that they can get a few handouts, then you're an oppressor. And it's their right to get those handouts. Well, guys, here's the thing. There's never a situation where a man who is straight is going to have sex with a trans person and then be like, you're what? You were born a what? Oh, you got me there. But that's okay because, I'm down with that. You're okay by me. That's not going to happen, right? A man is going to fly off the handles because we have preferences. And this is the problem with Marxism. Whether it's economic Marxism or cultural Marxism. In economic Marxism, people have preferences. People have human nature, right? It's in our human nature to want to accumulate wealth, to want to gather resources and keep those resources, not to redistribute them. In cultural Marxism, it's in our human nature to have in-group preferences. It's in our human nature to want to defend our living area from the barbarians that these leftists want to have infiltrate our countries. Those are in-group preferences. They are programmed into our DNA. And this is too, our sexuality also is programmed into our DNA. And the left always want to argue that sexuality is genetic and not learned. But in this case, they want it to be learned and not genetic. So they're hypocrites. What else can I say?
all right. Well, let's say, for instance, let's say that you used to be a guy.
Okay.
If you used to be a guy, I mean, you would have an obligation to tell somebody you're going to be with.
Why?
Because a guy, like for instance me, has a right to know if he's having sex with a man because I'm not gay.
Do you think you had sex with a man last time?
No, I assume I didn't. Because you'd have to tell somebody a thing like
Well, but
that.
you didn't ask me before we had sex. You just told me about your big special penis and invited me upstairs.
But you don't have to. You don't have to ask people which one are you before you get started. It's just a person has a right to assume.
Did I have the
certain
right
things.
to assume that you aren't a sexual deviant who did the unthinkable with his special penis?
Fucking a deviant.
No. Okay, look, no, in some cultures, what you did in your family is considered a crime punishable by death. So did you have an obligation to tell me what kind of man I was getting intimate with instead of springing it on me like the morning paper over some eggs? I'm not judging you. I'm making a point. Look at me. Okay, I am not judging you. I mean, you did do something wrong, but I am not judging you. I would not do that. I am not looking down on you. But you are judging people just for being themselves. So let me put your mind at rest about one thing. You had sex with a woman last night.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Mm-hmm. I always was a woman. Shit. Woo. Can I just say one thing? I believe in equal rights for everybody. That's what I believe in. I mean, for everybody.
I know you think you do.
No, I do. I really do. I do.
Everyone is feeling real good about accepting the transgender right now.
I know.
They love the transgender when they're transitioning. They're brave. They're becoming themselves. It's good for them. But the true path to acceptance comes when you have sex with one and you don't think you got cheated into doing something gay. Because
So mark my words, number one. This is one of those issues the left is going to lose, right? Just like the free speech, the silencing free speech, the left is going to lose this because they're on the wrong side of history, all right? When they say that trans people are brave, that's just a platitude. Nobody really believes that, all right? Soldiers are brave. Firefighters are brave. Trans people are not brave. Even from a civil rights standpoint, these people are not Martin Luther King, right? The only struggle they have is maybe not being able to use a particular bathroom in a particular Target. The only hardship they face is people like me hitting them with the cold, hard truths in life. One of those truths being that they have a mental illness and they need to deal with that. Because the left telling these people that they are normal is doing a disservice to them. It is hurting them. This is why they have a 45% suicide rate. It's just like my mental health issue, right? I have PTSD from my time in Iraq. Okay? I don't want somebody to throw a parade for me. I don't want Target to make special accommodations for me. All right? Because none of that is helping. People accepting me doesn't matter to me. All right? If they want to accept me having nightmares every other night, whatever. Who cares? All right? What I need is to be able to see a doctor and deal with it professionally. And that's what these people need. They need to deal with their issues with a professional psychiatrist. Because they will never accept themselves. They will never accept their body. That's why the regret rate for transitioning is so high. That's why these people have a 45% suicide attempt rate.